Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Drive-by shooting. A driver is dead and a passenger seriously hurt after someone shot into their car in Durham. What we know about the investigation as officers were at the scene for hours overnight.
In a community and mourning. Support is pouring in after a Raleigh teacher was murdered over the weekend, according to investigators. How the school is helping students today as the suspect is due to make his first court appearance.
It's a chilly start this morning, but we're back into the mid-50s for most of us this afternoon, and then we start a huge warm-up for the rest of the week. I'll show you.
It is 6 o'clock and a lot of heaviness in the news this morning. There's no getting around that, but we certainly appreciate you tuning in this morning as we get your morning started with what you need to know. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Lovingood. We'll be diving into those heavy stories, of course. We have some lighter ones as well to lighten the mood a bit. We do want to start off with our weather forecast for the day. We have meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner joining us back again after a little time off. We're so happy to see you there, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back for sure. We take a live look at Pittsboro right now. We're seeing the potential, especially in some of our western counties, of seeing some fog develop this morning. So far, everything's looking great here in Pittsboro. It's chilly across the triangle. Temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 30s. We do have a southeast wind right now. That wind will shift to southerly and then southwesterly, and that's what's going to start to bring the warm temperatures in. It's chilly this morning, though. 29 in Southern Pines, 30 in Goldsboro, 30 Roxborough, 27 in South Hill, 34 degrees in Clinton. So you might run into some frost on the windshield in a few places for this morning, and you definitely want to dress warmly. It's going to be winter coat weather for us this morning, maybe even a hat and gloves for the kids as they're headed back out to the bus stop. Sunglasses too. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day today like we saw yesterday with highs in the mid 50s, which is close to normal. But tomorrow will feel much different. I'll show you when temperatures will climb into the 70s, Ken.
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Really and truly a really quiet start so far. Very little to no delays whatsoever on any of our major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wake County area. You're coming in from Wake Forest, you're coming in from Knightdale and I-87 southbound, no delays. Similarly, we're not seeing any slowdowns on any of those routes heading into Durham as well. You're using Highway 98 to come over to Durham from Wake Forest, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
In the past 10 minutes, a tow truck took away a car that was shot in a drive-by shooting in Durham, according to investigators. One person died and another person was seriously hurt in that shooting on Hillsborough Road. Let's bring in Ali Kadabar. She's at that scene in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Ali, officers, they've still been there, and they've been there for hours now.
Chris, we can see the Durham Mobile Command Unit still here. Officers still investigating. I want to set the scene for what is still at this scene. We can see shattered glass on the road, and where that car was towed from was right by that Wendy's sign. And while it was being towed, we saw at least 3 bullet holes in it. Now, we do want to take you to this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Durham police say that a vehicle pulled up to the passenger side of a car around 9 last night. A person in the vehicle then started shooting at the car. The driver, who was being shot at, lost control and stopped at a business parking lot. A man in the car died at the hospital. A woman is in the hospital, seriously hurt, and we have reached out to police. We're working to find out answers to these questions. Has anybody been arrested? Has anybody been arrested? Also, did the people in the car know each other? And what are the identities of the people involved? Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kathabar, WRAL News.
Today, the man accused of murdering a Raleigh teacher is expected to make his first court appearance. Zoe Welsh was killed after police say a man broke into her home on Saturday. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the Wake County Justice Center this morning. And Kelsey, we're certainly thinking about the students and staff at Ravenscroft School. There will be resources for them when they return to school today.
Yes, Renee, just a heartbreaking situation for that entire campus community. Students, faculty, and staff will be returning to the classroom for the first time today, just grappling with their grief. And we know that in a few hours, the suspect will appear here in court. Beloved Ravenscroft science teacher Zoe Welsh was killed Saturday in her home. WRAL was on the scene as officers investigated. Ryan Camacho, the man accused of breaking into Welsh's home and murdering her, has a long criminal history. Court records show he's been arrested more than 20 times. The court dismissed breaking and entering charges against Camacho in a separate case last month after a mental competency exam. Prosecutors asked to have Camacho involuntarily committed, but a judge denied the request. This all according to District Attorney Lauren Freeman. We spoke with one of Welsh's former students about her passion in the classroom.
She really cared for her students, and she definitely was one of those teachers who was passionate about the subject that she taught.
And we'll be sure to have a crew here while Camacho makes his first court appearance. And then grief counselors will be on campus today at Ravenscroft to support students and staff. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Today, the suspect in the 2022 mass shooting in Raleigh's Hedingham community will be back in court. Austin Thompson's hearing today is happening less than a month before his trial is set to begin. Today is the deadline to file motions in the case. Any new motions will be heard in a couple weeks. Thompson was 15 when investigators say he shot and killed 5 people. That included his brother and an off-duty Raleigh police officer. Thompson is charged with several counts of first-degree murder, but he won't face the death penalty if he's convicted. That's because federal law prohibits capital punishment for anyone who was under the age of 18 at the time of their reported crimes.
Let's give you a live look at RDU this morning, where construction is getting started today on Terminal 2. This is all part of the airport's $2.5 billion program called Transform RDU. So starting today, crews will start work to expand the ticketing area, checkpoint lanes, and baggage claim system. This comes after the airport closed their Economy 4 parking area, making it employee only. RDU plans to add 7,000 parking spaces to the Economy 3 lot this year. The airport says this project will help keep up with growth.
Continue to have such a need for air travel and a demand for air travel here in this market, and we really have a critical need to upgrade and expand our infrastructure to keep up with that growth. So beginning in January, you'll start to see construction across the campus right here in Terminal 2.
Officials with RDU say a construction wall will be put up at the north end while work is being done. The expansion is expected to take about 6 years.
Also happening today, new restrictions for visitors at UNC Health will take effect. This is because of flu cases that just keep going up. Access is now restricted for anyone under the age of 12. This applies to all UNC hospitals, including UNC Rex and Raleigh. Duke Health has similar restrictions that start tomorrow. Wake Med and Cape Fear Valley Health already have restrictions in place.
Happening today, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is expected to appear in a New York courtroom after he was captured by U.S. forces over the weekend. Maduro and his wife were captured in Caracas on Saturday. Both of them face several charges tied to drug trafficking. Analysts say his lawyers are expected to argue that Maduro has sovereign immunity and that his arrest violates international law. Speaking on Air Force One, President Donald Trump says he believes the prosecution has a strong case.
We're just going to go through a slog of a trial. The judge is very respected. Judge Hellerstein is a highly respected judge. We'll see how we do. The case it's infallible. People are so happy with what we've done.
The Trump administration is also expected to brief select members of Congress about the U.S. military operation in Venezuela. Republicans have largely been supportive of the strike, while Democrats are worried about the legality of the administration's actions and the plans for how the U.S. will run the country.
It remains to be seen whether the people of Venezuela are going to be better off. Donald Trump claims that he's going to run Venezuela. He's done a terrible job running the United States of America.
He's going to clear our backyard of a drug caliphate, countries run by narco-terrorist dictators who murder, rape, send drugs into our country to kill thousands of our citizens. To my Democratic friends, you should be celebrating this.
The UN Security Council is also expected to hold an emergency meeting today on the current situation in Venezuela.
Well, and Renee, the unit that carried out that operation in Venezuela was the U.S. Army's Delta Force based at Fort Bragg. It's officially known as 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment. Delta specializes in high-risk missions involving the capture or killing of high-value targets. The team also carries out sensitive operations that require speed and secrecy and precision. The unit was involved in some of the most consequential U.S. military operations, including the capture of Saddam Hussein.
The Carolina Panthers are going to the playoffs. They clinched the NFC South when the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints yesterday. The Panthers will host the LA Rams in a wild card round game. It's a rematch from November when the Panthers upset the Rams at Bank of America Stadium. Their matchup will be at 4:30 on Saturday. You can watch it on Fox 50. In other NFC playoff games, the Packers will play the Bears on Saturday night, and the 49ers will play the Eagles on Sunday on Fox 50. The Seahawks have a first-round bye.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the playoffs in the AFC. Baltimore Ravens kicker Tyler Loop, so close. He missed a field goal in the final seconds of last night's AFC North deciding game, which means the Steelers escaped with a 26-24 win. The Ravens will not make the playoffs. In the AFC playoffs, the Bills will play the Jaguars. That is Sunday afternoon. Sunday night on WRAL, the Patriots host the Chargers. And then next Monday night, the Texans will play the Steelers. And the Broncos have that first-round bye.
It is 6:10 on your Monday morning. Last day in office. Marjorie Taylor Greene steps down from Capitol Hill today. The busy agenda that's ahead for Congress after she leaves.
And a close call, more than a dozen people taken to the hospital because a bus drove off an overpass. What one witness saw just before that crash.
And you want to grab your winter coat this morning, but we have a nice big warm up and our forecast ahead. I'll show you when temperatures could climb into the 70s.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13, starting with a nice look here at Rocky Mount Mills, and you can see the powerhouse. It's still dark out there right now. Temperatures are chilly. You might run into a little patchy fog in the western part of our viewing area, but for the most part, we're seeing a good bit of clear sky out there. 32 in Holly Springs, 34 Durham, 27 Roxborough, 31 Garner. So a lot of folks seeing temperatures at or below freezing this morning. We do have the potential for some fog, mostly back to the Triad. If you're going to be traveling to Greensboro or Winston-Salem, you'll run into it. Futurecast wants to show that creeping into the western part of our viewing area a little later on this morning, but I feel like most of us will end up staying fairly sunny for it today. As the kids are getting off the school bus this afternoon, it'll feel like yesterday with mid-50s, but we continue to warm up from here. I'll show you when we get hit 60s and 70s, Ken.
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We're going to start on that northern loop of the Beltline, give you a live look at I-440 at the New Bern Avenue exit. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, so you see traffic is flowing at a nice steady clip. As we widen out the view, give you a look at the entire loop from the 87 440 split all the way over to Wade Avenue. Nothing but delay free at this hour. And that's what we're seeing in all of our major routes heading into the Raleigh-Wade County area. We'll look at some of the other routes coming up in just a few minutes.
Ken, thank you. It's back to school, back to work for lawmakers as well. Let's give you a live look at Capitol Hill as lawmakers prepare to return to business today. Congress is expected to take up a vote this week on extending subsidies from the Affordable Care Act. Lawmakers also have until the end of this month to pass a spending bill to avoid a government shutdown. Today is also Marjorie Taylor Greene's last day as a member of Congress. Greene announced her resignation back in November. The Georgia Congresswoman previously had been one of President Trump's most vocal supporters in Congress. In recent months, she broke with him on the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files and extending Affordable Care Act subsidies.
A traffic alert to tell you about this morning. Part of Glenwood Avenue will be closed until Saturday for sewer repairs. Teams will be working on those repairs on Glenwood Avenue between Anderson Drive and West Whitaker Mill Road. The closure is expected to start at 8 a.m. today and then last until noon Saturday. Traffic will be detoured during that closure, and water services are not expected to be interrupted. And a new microtransit system becomes active today in Fuquay Varina. Microtransit systems give on-demand rides to people within a designated area, and the service will run every day except Sunday. It'll be free for the first month. Some service spots include Wake Tech, downtown, and Rex Holly Springs Hospital. The town of Holly Springs will also launch its own microtransit service today. It's called the Holly Springs Hopper. It'll offer door-to-door rides anywhere within that service area up to 7 miles. A launch ceremony is planned for 9 a.m.
Authorities in Houston are investigating after a city bus fell off an overpass over the weekend. This is video of the bus on its side there. And thankfully, though, there were no injuries with this. More than a dozen people had to be taken to the hospital, but none of the injuries are life-threatening. The driver of the other car was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. A witness says she was waiting at a bus stop just moments before the crash happened.
She was going really, really fast, real fast. So she bypassed us. So when I got mad, But then I looked down here and I seen her go down, and I'm like, I'm just shook. I'm traumatized at the same time, but I'm thankful because that could have been us.
Quite an ordeal. Police are still trying to figure out what caused the crash.
I got to show you this video. Parts of California under a flood advisory this morning because of this. There's king tides that are reaching record levels in San Francisco. High tide was recorded at more than 2.5 feet above normal, the fourth highest on record. Other parts of the Bay Area also saw flooding. Floodwaters in Sausalito has forced evacuations there. And people who live there say this is the worst flooding they have seen in decades.
Just the vastness that we have here and the tides that are coming in. It just kind of amazes me sometimes that the amount of water it takes to do that. And you'll never be able to control that. You might as well either live with it or, go somewhere else. I hate to say it.
5 northern counties in California are under a flood advisory as more rain is expected today. I mean, we didn't get anything like that over the weekend, Renee. Very light considering.
Well, certainly not. They just couldn't catch a break there, and I'm sure they would be happy to give us some of that rain because we still need some, although we did see some over the weekend. It was good to see it on Saturday.
It was. It would have been nice if it was more because, it was such a miserable day. You couldn't really get outside. It was just, kind of gross. But so, yeah, if we could have had a bit more rainfall out of that, it would have been nice. After that, Sunday was a great day to get outside and walk around. As a matter of fact, speaking of walking around downtown, you could see all the trees still lit up. They do this really neat thing in downtown Raleigh called Illuminate Raleigh, and it's still happening tonight. I think this is the last night, or either tonight or tomorrow night. And that's a really fun thing to do. Temperatures are going to be a little bit milder tonight and tomorrow night. 34 is our temperature heading out the door this morning, though. So I think a lot of folks will be out in their winter coats. High pressure has brought us a lot of chilly air. High pressure systems rotate clockwise. So when the high is back to our west, it pushes the cool air in. Now that the high is slipping off into the Atlantic, our wind shifts and we'll see wind coming out of the south. That's going to help to really warm things up for us. Our next weather maker is to our west, and because of that, we have that flow coming out of the south. We're going to be dry for much of the week with a big warm up in our temperatures, especially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Eventually, the next system will roll through. That's going to bring us our next best chance of rain, potentially late Friday through early Sunday. There could be a few scattered thunderstorms with this because the temperatures will be very warm ahead of it and then much colder behind it. This is a look at our forecast in terms of how much rain and wind. We can see really just a 40% chance on Saturday. We do have a drought situation for much of North Carolina, so we could really use some rain. It looks like the bulk of it will happen in the mountains and the Piedmont, and for us, we're probably looking at 1/10 of an inch or so. So that doesn't help us a whole lot. Temperatures are going to feel great, though. Tomorrow we'll be back into the mid-60s, and then in the 70s on Friday and Saturday. So that's going to be nice and mild for getting outside. But Saturday, which would be the key time to be out, it does look like it'll probably be a little wet, Ken.
All right, we'll take advantage of the warm temperatures initially, though. Hey, Elizabeth, thanks. Hey, quiet start to your morning commute as we take a live look at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. Traffic beginning to pick up just a little bit, but we're not seeing any delays on any of our major routes. This is a crash that's really in the clearing phase at Sunnybrook and New Bern Avenue, not far from Wake Med. Not really anything for you to worry about this morning, but all these major routes delay-free at this hour from Wake Forest to US 1, I-87 from Knightdale, no delays to report. And we're not seeing any slowdowns whatsoever on any of these routes heading into Durham as well. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Keep us tuned in all morning long. Your time is 6:20 this morning. Community on the rise. How part of Johnston County is expanding thanks to a new project backed by the Pentagon.
And humidifier safety. 5 on your side shares what you need to know with cold and flu season in full swing.
And folks, if you ever see some breaking news, have a story tip or video or pictures of severe weather where you are, go ahead and report that to us at WRAL.com/report it.
Welcome back. A Johnston County town known for its Mule Festival will soon be home to a key national defense project. Vulcan Elements recently announced a plan to expand in Benson, where it will manufacture rare earth magnets that help power everything from cell phones to nuclear submarines. The Pentagon-backed project will cost $918 million and create up to 1,000 jobs. The plan could certainly transform Benson, which is home right now to fewer than 4,000 people. Read about how the town recruited the company to Benson at WRAL.com.
This What's Trending report is sponsored by Call Dad AC and Heating.
The Panthers are celebrating after making the playoffs, and why announcer Joe Buck is thanking his makeup team.
Yeah, I text Chris Lee after the Panthers made it. He was very happy. Ken Smith to talk more about that. What's trending?
Panthers in the playoffs. What? Listen, we're going to start there. Of course, plenty of reaction coming in, including from the team's mascot, Sir Purr. The big cat celebrating by donning a large NFC South Championship hat. Former players also congratulating the team, including former running back Jonathan Stewart and defensive lineman Efe Obada.
Panthers fans have been waiting a long 8 years for this one, right? We all remember when they made the playoffs in 2017. Saturday's game against the Rams will be at 4:30, and you can watch on Fox 50. But for the Panthers, well-deserved and well-earned.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of energy in Charlotte this weekend. So listen, football announcer Joe Buck trending this morning, not for his work in the booth. Buck says he got a black eye while trying to break up a fight between his 7-year-old twin sons. This all happened just 2 days before he called the Seahawks 49ers game of the weekend. Of course, he thanked his makeup team for concealing the bruise. My goodness.
So what's the punishment for that, right? They're the kids kind of go back and forth. You get a black eye. What is that? What's the punishment there?
I got nothing.
It's just hazards.
Hug each other. That's what you do. Make them hug each other for an hour and think about what you did.
That's what we do at the house. You do something to your siblings, hug them, and say sorry.
Love them. All right. Well, Surf City is putting Christmas trees to good use. The town is collecting them to help rebuild coastal dunes. When placed along the shore, the trees help form a protective barrier against erosion. People there are stepping in to help, too.
It takes a few months, but after a while, the trees are actually completely covered by sand and build natural infrastructure.
If it helps the beach and, to save money down the road for the beach and, the environment, why not? They're good cause to get rid of them, and pretty easy.
And today is the last day for tree collection in Surf City. Your time is 6:26 this morning. We're talking about a deadly drive-by shooting. One person is dead and another seriously injured after they were shot in their car in Durham. What we have confirmed this morning as police investigate.
Support for Ravenscroft. A Raleigh community is mourning after one of its teachers was murdered over the weekend. The latest in this case ahead of the suspect's first court appearance.
And temperatures are chilly this morning. We're near freezing at the bus stop this afternoon. Temperatures climb into the mid-50s. I'll show you why it will be much warmer starting tomorrow.